talk about this lady in California, the one that got stopped by the cops. Now, this should be a top story on every news channel because this shows exactly what our police officers are faced with every day now. Every day they're faced with non-compliant people. Every day they're faced with rude people. And in the case of this lady, a racist person. This lady's black. And you might go, whoa. How can she be racist if she's black? I know that's a mainstream narrative, but the fact of the matter is anybody can be racist. This isn't a mystery. Anybody can be racist. Now, I'm sure in her mind, in her feeble little mind, she doesn't think she's racist. She thinks she's standing up to the cops and giving the cops a what for. But if you watch the video, you'll see the disgusting nature of these people. And especially a person like this who, okay, she's obviously black, and okay, she obviously hates cops, you know? But just the whole damn thing is disgusting from beginning to end. First off, before the cop even gets to the car, you can hear this lady's annoying fucking voice already yelling. What are you pulling me over for? I was going to speed limit, blah, 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 blah. Before the cop can even explain himself. Because if you've ever been pulled over by a cop, and if you haven't, here's a news flash. They will explain to you why they're pulling you over. They're not going to just pull you over and go, here's a ticket, and not explain why you're getting a ticket. So immediately off the bat, bam, she's insulting him. What are you pulling me over for? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, he's trying to explain to her. I know, I didn't pull you over because you were speeding. You know, I'm filming you. Yeah, well, this is why I'm pulling you over, because you were using I wasn't using my, yes you were. Yes you were using your cell phone. That's why I pulled you over. I'm filming you because I'm scared because you're a murderer. She starts calling him a murderer. Now, why? Why? I mean, I understand why. Because she's a woke BLM black person, right? Who thinks all cops are evil. I get it, but there's no evidence for that at all. But anyway, she starts calling him a murderer. He doesn't lose his cool because he's a professional. Call a supervisor. Well, I already did it. So that makes me wonder if he'd already called a supervisor before he even walked up to the car. This woman must have been known or something, right? She must have been known because he immediately called us. Unless that's like what they do when they do a traffic stop. I don't know. I've been here in Hawaii. It's different because there's not a lot of cops. But when you get pulled over, there's only one cop. But anyway. Maybe they knew this woman, and that's why this woman's a problem. She harasses cops, which is what she was doing. Oh, and here we go. Traffic once again. So, that's what I think it was. That's why he called the supervisor, because he was prepared already. And he has the body cam. So the thing with that sheriff department is they don't issue body cams. I mean, not every police department is the same, but in this one they don't release body cams. So that body cam was his own personal one. And he said the reason why he had it is for this very express reason, so he can videotape these things so that if anybody makes a claim against him, he has the videotape evidence. Very smart. I think every cop should be wearing a body camera just for their own safety. Anyways, so this lady calls him a murderer. Supervisor shows up. So anyway, he's giving you a ticket and he explains to her, and you think she would have caught it, but obviously she's lost in her fucking derangement. And he could have given, because when he asked for her license, she said she didn't have a license on her. She said she had a picture of a license, which doesn't make sense. Like, Why not just carry the license? I don't know. Anyway, he could have given her a ticket for not having a license, because the law is you're supposed to have a license when you're operating a motor vehicle. It can't be at home, right? Now, if that happens, sometimes you might forget your wallet or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But she didn't have a license, so he could have given her a ticket for that. And if I'd been the cop, just because she's being a dick, I would have given her a ticket anyway. But he didn't. I mean, she's totally being rude to him. She's assaulting him. So then when she hands him when he hands her the ticket to sign, she goes, "You Mexican racist." She starts calling him a Mexican racist. You're a racist. You're a Mexican racist. And then she goes, "You'll never be white. Even though you want to be white, you'll never be white. You're just a Mexican racist." Everything about this, from beginning to start, was horrible and evil. And this woman is a racist. This woman is just a horrible person. Oh, and the kicker I didn't mention yet, she told the cop, "And I'm a teacher." And then when he said, "Oh, is this your car?" He's like, "Oh, yes, it's my car. Why? Are you jealous? You think I stole it?" Just everything about this woman was despicable. This is a teacher. This woman is teaching children. Oh, and another thing I did, that's why there's so many things about this that is so wrong. She says she's taking her kid to fucking whatever. So there was a kid in the car while she's doing this. Now, this is a woman who's teaching children. This woman should be fired. Do you want a person like this teaching your children? Because look what she's teaching that child that was in her car. She's teaching that child to be a racist. She's teaching that child to hate cops. That's what she's teaching that child, that poor child. You know, so then that might be a child that grows up and has no respect for the police and starts messing with the police and then gets shot. You know? No, nobody looks at it that way. I hope they find out who this woman is. I hope some journalist fucking does the digging and finds out who this woman is, right? And says, "This is a woman teaching in your area. She needs to be removed." I'm very curious to see if she will be, because, you know, again, if this was a conservative doing something like this, they would have been removed already. They would know the name of the person, should be removed already. But, you know, this woman's black. She's a teacher. She obviously hates cops. This is where this rhetoric gets you. This critical race theory, this anti-cop rhetoric, this is what it gets you. Okay? This is supposedly a normal person, right, who's a teacher. Should be a normal person. And she's like insane. And she must think she's so smart. It's like, maybe if you had just been nice to the cop, he might have let you go. Maybe you could have made up a story. Oh, I got a call and I had to take the call. You know, the cop might have let her go, but the cop didn't even have a chance. Before he was even at her freaking door, she was yelling at him. So, this is only going to continue. This is only going to get worse, because even the president's not supporting the police officers. The Democrats and the freaking lefty media definitely isn't supporting officers. And then we get, like Seattle, 200 officers quit. So, I mean, this goes back to my other video where I'm talking about, where do you think this ends? Where do you think this ends? Because these people that are doing it on the street, a lot of them minorities, this rhetoric's only going to hurt them in the end, because there's not going to be any cops on the street. And what happens when you take cops on the street? Does crime magically disappear? No. Crime goes up. The more cops you have on the street, there's less crime. There's the data for this that stretches back decades. If the budget goes down and they have to eliminate jobs in the police department, crime goes up. Right? Look at these cities that defunded the police: Minnesota, New York, California. Look at these places that did that. Seattle. Crime is going up. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. So this lady doesn't even know she's hurting herself. As you know, and the people that suffer is the regular people, the people that understand that this rhetoric is wrong. One day, if they live in one of these cities, one day they're going to call a cop, and if the cops have been defunded, if the cops have been, abolished, they're going to call for a cop, and the cop's not going to be there, and this person might potentially die. And that's where this rhetoric goes. And then what are they going to say? It's horrible that this is going on. Even in my small state of Hawaii, there was a news clip about a week ago, and they were talking about these two shootings that just happened. Now, in Hawaii, we don't get a lot of shootings. I think there's been 5 so far this year. That's relatively small. But we also have a relatively small population. But, it makes sense to me because this anti-cop rhetoric, this infection that's going on in our society is making people forget their place. So, the gist of this clip was anti-cop. We need more oversight. We need to hold these officers accountable. Like, not even talking about whether these shootings were justified, no context to it, just, they had a guy, a token guy from the ACLU, right? And he's sitting in a nice freaking apartment or a house, nice shirt on, obviously well off to do, talking about something that doesn't even affect him. But he works for the ACLU, and they got to make sure that all cops are held accountable, right? And again, who suffers? Me. Regular people. That's who's going to suffer. So, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Critical race theory is an evil thing. And if we're not careful, we are going to end up with a whole generation of racist people. The very thing that they say they're fighting against, that is what they're going to end up with, is racist people. Okay. Looking at white people and saying that all white people are inherently racist. The 1619 Project, trying to rewrite history. That's how bad it's good. They're trying to rewrite history. And the lady that wrote it has no credibility. She just came up with this idea off the top of her head. The Revolutionary War was fought because of slavery. Where do you even get that from? That rhetoric, man. That rhetoric. And these people are put on TV every day. These people are teaching in our classrooms. Right? These people are raising children. Just look at that lady in that video. Madness. So, what if the Republicans take back the House in 2022? What if the Republicans get back the presidency in 2024? Is that going to change anything? No, it won't. Not if this pollution, just look how far we've devolved just in the racism issue and the cop issue. Just how far we devolved in 1 year. It's been about 1 year since that man died in Minneapolis. Look how far we've devolved. in just 1 year. Imagine 2 more years of this. I can't. It's scary. Again, I mean, the reality is it might not affect me out here in Hawaii. And we have a different set of values here in Hawaii. We have a smaller police force. We have a smaller crime rate. But just imagine these big cities. I mean, Seattle, they were already having a problem with crime. Now they're down 200 officers. What is it now? You know? I mean, and you got to the point where you've got district attorneys refusing to uphold the law. Just look at Portland and what that district attorney does. These Antifa pieces of shits riot all the time. Some of them have been arrested multiple times, and yet they face no consequences. So yet they just go right back and just do the same thing. Why? Because they know there's no consequences. And look at the shit show that city is in. Where's the transparency? That mayor allowed this to happen. Now that it's beyond his control, and now that there's no reason for it, because the reason for it to let it go on was to fucking get at Donald Trump. Come on. Donald Trump offered his help and he refused it. Outright refused the help. Now he's like asking citizens to rat on them. Now he's saying that citizens should fucking citizen arrest these people. Now he's doing it. So now it's bad. Right, to the point where they're posting videos. These Antifa guys. There was that video the other day where they were threatening the life of the mayor. You know, that's where it's come. But hey, Antifa's a myth, right? They're not an organization. It's hard not to just fucking hang your head and go, fuck, we're just totally fucked. It's hard not to do that because it kind of looks that way. Oh, I guess you just gotta just take care of yourself, man. That's all you can do. Meanwhile, our country is burning. Meanwhile, the country that I love, the flag that I love, the national anthem that I love, right? Things that I believe in. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in that shit. It's the greatest document ever written. And these people are just wiping their asses with it. Every day. Spitting on the flag. Burning the flag. Censoring people because they have a different point of view than you. That's not America, man. That's not. So what if they get their way and they tear it all down? Then what are they going to have? What are they going to have? Well, because this has been done before. You know? You ever heard of the French Revolution? Man, this mirrors it so much. You know? The Jacobins, they were like the first progressives, you know? And they're doing the same thing, censoring speech. What's next? Are we going to have a guillotine in the public square? And they're going to be beheading dissidents? People that don't agree with them? All right, this has been tried before, and look how horribly it failed. And the irony of the French Revolution is they overthrew the monarchy, right? Because they considered him to be a dictator, right? They overthrew the monarchy, beheaded the king and Marie Antoinette. Then, when it descended into real madness, the head of the whole thing, Robespierre, he got beheaded. And then what happened? When they finally ran through that and got it out of their system, what did they end up with? Napoleon, a dictator. So the very thing they were fighting against, the very thing they did this whole radical thing for, they ended up with the same thing. And in fact, even worse, because Napoleon was a war dictator. So they ended up with an even worse situation. Is that where we're headed? I mean, again, history likes to repeat itself. That's the thing about history. It's big on repetition. And that goes to our own human fallacies. But humans have a hard time learning things, man. And even though we're supposedly at the top of the food chain, we're the most intelligent species on the planet, yet we do the most dumbest things. That's ironic, right? I don't know, man. We need to wake up. It's hard to do that when half the country are fucking idiots.